Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Everyone. What's going on?
Happy day after New Comic Book Day.
Ooh, I saw Sheena pop in. Hi, Sheena.
I do see Sheena in here. We got a couple people hanging out, a couple that were hanging out early too. So say hi to them and I'll bring in our guests for the evening. We've got Wes hanging out. Missed last night, but he's here tonight. Thank you, Wes. Michael Baker hanging out 2 nights in a row. Welcome back. And the Clayman, Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy, Lewis, what's going on? We get to talk about him a little bit tonight too. He's got some involvement in this Kickstarter campaign.
Cross promoting.
And I hear Noah really likes telling this story, so I'll let him tell it. Sheena, what's going on? So let's bring him in. Fortunately, Travis Wells, the artist for Mossvale, wasn't able to join us tonight, but we do have the publisher, Matt Kund, and the letterer and editor, Noah Ray. What's going on, guys?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming to hang out.
Always a blast having you guys on. It was great to meet you guys at Baltimore Comic-Con last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, last year. I don't like that.
Neither do I. Too long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
But Firehawk. Yeah, I feel like we were just in Baltimore like last month.
Yeah, it feels like it was just last month, but also like then so many other things have happened in the meantime. I think that's just like the holidays and the new year starting up. Mm-hmm. But yeah. What's funny about it is that Mossvale was just like a speck on the horizon at that time. And I don't know if it's like that for Matt, but like it all of a sudden like hit me like a freight train when it came in. I was like, oh, that's right, we got to do this now. But I don't mind. I love this book, so it's great.
Yeah, I think leaving Baltimore, I got a text message from Travis about like how great everything looked, and I joked with him that we'd be back there next year with another book, and he's like, yeah, we will, and that was Mossvale. So
yep,
heck yeah,
awesome,
yeah. And just to reiterate, Travis wishes he could have been here, but he works like ridiculous hours and has 3 kids and stuff like that. So, but he wanted to be here. Sending out his spirit is here with us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Things happen. It's fine.
So at Baltimore, this was still going through the production process, and here it is. The last Dino Thrashers.
Yeah,
which was as awesome as the first one.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you got all
nice.
6 covers of the first 2 issues. So
and I have to represent Travis's spirit. We got Travis's cover from the
nice.
Yeah,
because I hold him up as the co-host.
Yeah, he's right here.
What do you think, Travis? Yeah, no.
right. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about Mossvale, Ageless Press's newest Kickstarter comic. So I guess we'll start out with have you guys tell a little bit about yourselves and how you guys got involved in the Mossvale project, and then give, I guess, Travis's little spiel on what Mossvale's about.
Do you want me to go first, Matt, and then you can just sort of pick up?
Yeah, that's fine. You have the best connection to it, so for you to start, I think is the best.
Yeah. So how it started was actually a little bit before Dino Thrashers. Travis and I were sort of mutual acquaintances of some people while I lived in Virginia, and we ended up meeting each other and becoming really good friends, and ended up like drawing together. And then the pandemic happened, obviously. So during that time, Dino Thrashers fell into my lap, and during that time, Travis was just trying to think of something that he could do with his illustrations that he'd been wanting to do. So he did some character sketches, and he was sort of showing those to me. And at one point, he said he wanted to turn it into a comic. So it actually happened where he started Mossvale at the same time I started Dino Thrashers issue 1. So we would get together like summer of 2020. Outdoors and like just have a nice session of working on our comic pages together. And if we weren't able to meet up with each other, we'd be sending each other progress pics of like where he was at with Mossvale, where I was at Dino Thrashers. And that continued through issue 2 of Dino Thrashers for me. So this has been a real labor of love for Travis. He's been working on this for about 2 years, and I've been there every step of the way. So he came to me about a year ago and said he wanted to do something with this book to get it printed. And I flexed at that time and I was like, well, you know, I can pitch this to my friend
I
Matt.
know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Connections.
Yeah, I got connections. But really it was more, I was just honored at that time that he came to me with that. I love the book a lot, and I have a real personal attachment to it because I've been there watching this come together. So as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, of course. You know, like, yeah, we're gonna make this happen. So I bossed Travis around. I was just like, give me this, give me that. I'm gonna pitch this.
As is standard for Travis.
Yes. And then he then we pitched it to Matt and our other Ageless Press publisher, Brett. So Matt can take it from there.
Yeah, so I had been following Travis's art on Instagram as well, so I had seen the story build, and you know, he had done the sketch for the sketch for the cover that turned into the Dino Thrashers cover. So you know, we'd also build a connection that way. And actually, we're relatively early on in this, but both of the projects that we have are brought by Noah. And Noah was contacted by somebody else for the writer Mike McCarthy for Dino Thrashers, and this one, you know, I've been following along a little bit more closely. So I've told this story before in some of the interviews and stuff that we talked about. You know, Noah and I are just sort of trading text messages, notes, you know, images all day, every day about stories and comics and stuff like that. So like to have Noah vet something is a pretty easy like yes for me, but actually having Noah vet something, but then also sort of watching it from the sidelines, it was a pretty easy you know, sell for me. So then it comes over, pass it over to Brett takes a look, and you know, he's on board. So from there I think we drafted up a contract, and you know, it's been a while for Travis because he's, you know, working really hard on the pages, and then I think probably about 2 months ago we got really serious about putting together the Kickstarter page, and we've been trading notes for that, and we hit launch on February 1st of this month, 2022, excuse me. I don't know what year it is.
2021 on everything, and I'm like, this could be a while.
I just noticed I'd put some thumbnails for videos for the channel that say 2021 on them. And I was just like, you know what?
I've been doing it at work.
Whatever year it is, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's a year.
There's a 2-month buffer at the beginning of every year where you get to figure out what year it is.
But at the end of the 2 months, not at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm running out of time on that.
When they go back in the history books, it'll just sort of be like 2020-2022. We don't know exactly when all these events happened. It was in that 2-year time frame.
It's gonna be like 20. It's gonna be like 202 question mark.
Yeah,
that's all you get. We all know what it means.
It feels like that. Now, and to tie it back to Mossvale, like part of me actually remembering things that happened in 2020 was because of Travis sending me pages, so I can be like, oh yeah, that was in July and that was in August. Other than that, it's like I don't know what happened that year.
Right.
Yeah, it's like yeah,
you just remember events, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Just remember lockdown.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Bad.
So what is Mossvale about?
Matt, you want to take this?
Awesome.
Yeah. So we just have a quick sort of narrative on the Kickstarter page. It's in the land of Mossvale, Nigel Hu has discovered an ancient scroll that reveals the location of a long forgotten artifact. With the help of the hired Sir Lucius, Nigel dives deep underground, only to discover that the artifact is anything but forgotten. It is tied to an evil plot that has been growing in the shadowy places of Mossvale. So, sort of your typical typical fantasy sort of intro and intrigue there.
Yeah. And it's got a very it's like animals and D&D is like the vibe I get just looking at it visually and then going through those couple panels of previews pages.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and that was sort of the, and if you not to plug our show, but Travis goes into the depth of like where the character designs come off of on our Constructing Comics podcast. So if you want to like get an in-depth thing on that, it's really good there. But
plug away. I got the link to that down in the description. So
yeah, and so he describes it better there. But you know, his to sort of give like the other elevator pitch for the book. This is like a very almost like Bone-ish kind of book. If you're familiar with Bone, it's very much like that. Some people are like, oh, it's like Mouse Guard or something like that, but it's actually more fun and like free spirited. Like it's not as like dark and serious as something like Mouse Guard.
I can see the comparison to Mouse Guard too in terms of like I guess animals, anthropomorphic animals, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more like the book's Redwall, like in the vein of, but like with the tone of something like Bone, where it's like it's very silly in like a good way, like adventurous. It's just fun. That's the best way of describing it. It's just fun. But also another big influence for Travis is Calvin and Hobbes. So you see a lot of that coming out as the book goes, and like there's like a pretty direct homage to Calvin and Hobbes about halfway through the book. Which I like, and it's really cute, it's really fun, but at the same time, like it's it kind of like Bone, it can get like really dark and weird at times too, which is very Travis, that kind of thing. So like there's some like it's very cartoony, but like it can get violent, and it's very funny. It's more funny than it is disturbing or anything like that. But
I mean, I feel like that juxtaposition between the, you know, cartoony fun and then going dark it's a great story. I mean, we've seen that happen in comics recently with like Stray Dogs.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it rips your heart out like Stray Dogs does. Like I only read one issue, and I couldn't read more than that. So
I don't think anyone's recovered from issue 3 of Stray Dogs yet. At this point, we're all still not doing so well from that, but
yeah, this is much lighter than that. So Matt can talk about it better, but this is an all ages book. It's like it's not something I would be afraid of like recommending to my like niece who's in first grade. You know, that I think it's very safe for that. I would it's a fun book more than anything.
Yeah, we've marketed it as 7 and up. You know, it's there's you know, adventure, action, and there's violence, and as you'll see as you scroll down, most of the violence that you'll see is inflicted on spiders. So
everyone's gonna be happy about that.
Yeah.
I love this page right here. This is fantastic.
The colors are amazing.
Yeah, I've got the originals here. So I'm doing the lettering and the design work. So I'm trying to capture like Travis's vibrancy in his colors, but like that's the original right there. If you can see it.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But just to bring it like to make it.
There we go.
So there you go. Maybe it'll focus. My computer is old, but everything is done on the page with Travis. So there's no digital colors. All the pencils, inks, colors are all on the same page.
Okay.
So that leads into the pitch for the original art tier that we have on the Kickstarter. So if you want a page from this comic, you're not just getting like the inks, you're getting everything that shows up in the book, with the exception of the letters, which I'm adding.
Which, I mean, it's so much more than you usually get with original art.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Usually you get some lines,
basic
sketch maybe, and then someone else has done the digital inks and all that, and so that's awesome.
Yeah, Travis is. That's why, like,
There's Travis.
There's Travis. Travis, like, it seems like with how long it took him to put this issue together, that like, he works really slowly, but like that's not the case at all. The guy is just like really busy with his life and everything.
Yeah.
So when I would sit down with him and I would start penciling, like I would have like my basic shapes blocked out, and he'd be already on to inking. Like we would start a page at the same time. he's so fast, and then like while I'm inking, like he's coloring the page. It was insane. It was just like, it blew my mind every time that he was able to work as fast as he does at such like high
with
quality.
3 kids though, like you gotta just work. You gotta pump that out.
Yeah. He finds whatever time he can get, and like he just makes the most of it. It's truly inspiring.
Yeah, when we had him on a little while ago, we were, one of the things that I really love is that it's markers and how he can get, light and shadow. It almost looks like it's done, colored by a computer, but this is all done with markers. So it's pretty amazing.
Especially right here. Like, how do you get that like red hue going on top of everything else there with markers?
Yeah, he explained the lighting, which made a lot of sense. He starts with like the lightest value and then just sort of builds that. But yeah, like you're saying, like those top 3 panels, he would have had to have done that, and then the red hue that's coming off of the gem is just sort of, that would be really easy, or I say really easy, but you would figure that that's an effect that you could put on in a digital painting program. But he's doing that. He's doing that with markers. So.
Yeah,
it's impressive. Speaking as someone who attempts to color in coloring books with markers, that shit's impressive.
He's a painter. Like, that's where he originated from with art, and so you can see that brought out while he colors and how he colors.
He understands blending.
Yes, exactly. And it's fun to like get marker recommendations from him because he knows how to speak marker. In other words, so like, he's like, he knows like how to hit those buzzwords like blending and bleeding and all that stuff. So I know like what brands to get and what to invest in.
So with this book, this is the first issue, and so he's planning on to continue the series after this one as well.
Yeah, he shared. He's at least the last that I saw was thumbnails for 2. I don't know if Noah knows if anything's progressed past thumbnails for 2.
He started writing the script for 2, but I won't say too much, but he has a grand like plan for the whole series. Awesome. Like he wants to continue it with being this sort of fun adventure comic and things, but while the action is going on, it's building out the world as well. That's what he wants to do. So he's basically like, it's fun to talk to him because he and I kind of think in similar ways where it's like in action sequences. So he'll have this great idea for an action sequence, and then he'll explain how that leads into this. And it's really cool. So we'll be getting more issues that'll be like really fun, action-packed adventure books. So I'm excited.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I was listening to your guys' podcast, and he was talking about it. I remember him saying he had to kind of stop himself from going and building the world first and spending all of his time sitting there building that instead of focusing on the characters and all of that. So with this approach, it sounds like he's going to get to add those pieces that he would have otherwise built up before, little by little, each book, flesh it out more.
Yeah, exactly like that.
That's awesome.
And he's got, he's always sending me character sketches too, like of characters he wants to include and sort of how he wants to fill out this fantasy world. And then thinking sort of at the same time, sort of like building this like Tolkien-esque world for himself, where it's like it's got like lore and history that goes back and makes things the way that they are. And it kind of gets touched on a little bit in this book, just in like little bits of dialogue and things, but it'll be more developed as the issues go on.
Nice.
Awesome.
And he won't do like the Similarian where he writes a sequel that nobody understands what's going on at all.
Don't worry, we're getting a TV show for that.
Yeah, there's no Mossvale appendices. Yeah.
Darn. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the Mossvale.
That's what Amazon's for. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazon will adapt the non-published appendices later on.
Exactly.
That's why they're raising the monthly fees.
Yeah. Just for Mossvale.
So with the
Big
comic,
exclusive here.
Yeah. With the comic, is it standard size comic we're looking at here?
Actually, Noah, that's your area there. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, no. So, Travis, this is his first comic that he's ever drawn. So he drew it at 9x12, just this nice format. And I was like, okay, that'll be a little challenging to fit into your standard, like 6.8 by 10.5. But I'm like, but I can work with that. I can see what I can do. However, this past summer, Matt and I got to know these brothers in Des Moines, Iowa, who create this awesome comic book series called Dino Beasts. And they print their books at 8.5 by 11. So their books are awesome. And actually, James Coates, who draws the book, he and I have been having conversations, and I've been asking for some advice from him on this book. And he gave me the name of the printer. So we're gonna print this at 8.5 by 11 to sort of really, so everybody gets to really see the art as close to how it was drawn.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be 25 fully colored pages of that, like hopefully printed nice art at an 8.5 by 11.
And at 25 pages, still a little bit bigger than a standard issue, right?
Yeah, we'll fill it out because we have to print in multiples of 4, so we'll fill it out with some extra sketches in the back. So you'll get to see. We'll have this character sketch of Lucius, which we'll talk about his sculpture later, and we'll see the sketch of the original sketch of Nigel, the owl who's the elephant, the owl who's the wizard, and another character sketch as well. And I won't say who he is because he shows up later in the book. So we'll have some sort of behind the scenes stuff in the back.
Awesome. We can get into some of this stuff. I know one part of the rewards campaign coming up here. Lewis is hanging out in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So these are Travis's artwork here with the Lord of the Ring prints. So
yeah,
that's such an awesome drawing there. And that's a tier that can be backed along with getting the comic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we originally so Travis made some prints of that a couple of years ago, and I bought one for myself and I bought one for someone else. And I asked Travis before we got started, like, do you have any of those left? And he was like, yeah, I got like 3. And then we have those up there as like a limited, if 3 people can get to them, that's great, that kind of thing. And then we got a message from Travis, and Matt can talk about that a little bit about those.
Yeah, I guess once this went up, there was a little bit more interest in those prints than we thought. So we added an additional 5 to that. So there's a count of 8. So it went it was pretty limited, but now it's there's more of them, but it's still fairly limited collector's item.
Still the only way to get it.
Yeah.
And fantasy fans, if you're into Lord of the Rings, you're gonna have some interest in this, I think.
And so, Noah, you could speak to this again. This is, the print is not going to be the original, but Travis did this again with markers and stuff like that. Like all of that, the fire off of that beast is not digital work. That's markers again.
Yeah, all traditional.
Impressive.
Yeah, and the print itself, I've got mine hanging up over here. It looks really good. It's high quality print, and the colors are. It's about. I would say it's a little bigger than 9x12. I think I measured it once. It's maybe like 10x13. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a manageable size.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a frame for it pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I labeled it LOTR print so that the Tolkien estate doesn't come after us. It's
it's not a Lord of the Rings print.
Yeah.
It's a LOTR print.
It's a loader print.
Yeah,
lots of the red.
There's lots of red there. Exactly. So that's one of the special tiers that you guys have for the book. And then there's another special tier here. What's going on with this one?
Ooh.
No, is this your story?
Oh, you could explain the tier.
Oh, the tier is
yeah.
we're so actually we offer this two different ways as the figurine and the book. But if you want to go like all in, you can get the figurine with the art page and the book. But yeah, we're really excited about this. Yeah. It's I mean, we're super excited. You can see the legs of Tor the Dino Thrasher, and he's behind me on the shelf there. But shortly, like before Baltimore Comic-Con, we went to AwesomeCon, and we didn't have a table. We were just sort of walking around, and it was getting late one of the afternoons, and we had kept walking past this table, and the guy was making these awesome clay structures, and I was like, no, we should go see if we can get him to, because at to start off, we just got this little like clay figure in like a square glass or plastic box. But when we walked up, we're like, hey, we have a comic. It's dinosaurs, and the guy stopped. He goes, yeah, I know that. I back that. You guys owe me a comic and a sketch. So that's how we met Lewis, and Noah went back the night of and drew him a sketch of him as a Dino Thrashers, and we've been trying to work with Lewis since then, and we reached out and said, hey, you want to be part of this, and he was all for it. So we're super excited. It's a rare sort of things. You can go to a con and there's lots of like minifigs that might be made of a characters, but this is a really like a high quality step up from that. This is a one of a kind sort of a one of a kind handcrafted item, and
sturdy too. That's always what people are like. I was impressed with. Obviously it's not like I didn't expect it to be sturdy, but just like like this thing is like built to,
when you feel the weight.
Yes, exactly.
I've got another thing that he's made actually sitting over here,
and he's super fast too, because like he was sending us pictures of like the sculpt of very cool
handiwork. Noctera.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was just he was sending us pictures as he was doing it. It was so fast, for as high quality as it is. It was like the wire framing out the legs, then just sort of building it. And that Tor, with how skinny his legs are and how much sort of mass he has in the arms, and he's carrying a gun and he's got claws, for him to stand up like that is an impressive feat on its own.
Yeah. And little Lucius there, Lucius the raccoon, as quality, again, I think I asked him to do it pretty last minute before Baltimore, like a couple of weeks before, and I think he did it, and again, like in a couple of days, it's really impressive, and the detail is amazing.
Yeah. Once he gets working on these figures, he's puts in all the details that he would want to see in the figure, and if he's gonna keep it and display it. So high quality. So if anybody's interested in getting a custom Mossvale figure, there's a tier for that.
Yeah.
I still remember
other characters you can get the Nigel the Owl Wizard, and you can get a spider. You can get there's another wizard that comes up, and there's another warrior that comes up. So, you got a bunch of choices.
A whole squad.
Yeah.
Or back it a couple times at that tier. And
yes.
Get the whole squad, right?
And just get a backlog for Lewis. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Put him to work.
Yeah.
But also save on shipping.
Right. I still remember when he met you guys at AwesomeCon, I get a message on Instagram. He's like, hey, you know these guys? I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I know. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think I sent you a picture afterwards too, and I was like, look who we met.
Or maybe it was, I forget which one of you messaged me, but yeah, you both had messaged me, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
what's going on over here?
it was awesome.
Wait a minute.
I know both of you. Hold on.
Yeah, and to just give it to you guys for a second, like you guys helped us out so much with Dino Thrashers, and yeah, it was great to have that built-in connection with Lewis. It wouldn't have been that without you guys. So thanks so much.
It's a small world.
It truly
well,
is.
It helps to have podcasts and TV and streams like this to make it smaller. So it's great.
Yeah.
Connect
everyone across the country that wants to talk about comics.
Exactly.
So what else with the tiers do we got going on?
We have digital tiers. If you want, just read the book, get it sent to your inbox, read it on your device. We also have a digital tier, which is it's sort of a digital combo pack tier. So it's going to be everything that Noah and myself have worked on with a copy of Mossvale. So that's like eight digital comics if you want to sort of catch up that way.
Yeah, for the digital for Mossvale, I'm working through the book right now, doing my edits and about to start lettering. So it'll be done by the time the campaign ends. So it won't be long before people get their digital rewards. Once the campaign ends and everyone's pledges are collected, it's going to be a quick turnaround time for printing, but with digital it'll be no time. It'll be very fast.
Yeah, we should be quicker on the physical rewards than we were with Dino Thrashers 2. Just a simple fact that Noah is in possession of all of the art. Dino Thrashers, we had various stages of Noah doing the art, coloring by somebody else, transferring files, waiting on this stuff. But this is a two-person shop. It's Travis and Noah, and Travis is done. His issue 1 on his part is complete. Noah's in possession of the art, and he's working on those files. So we're hoping for a much quicker turnaround time than we had on Dino Thrashers 2.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hopefully, no unforeseen, problems with printing or anything like that.
Like a pandemic.
The pandemic has made us even more flexible with things now, which is great. But
and I'm hoping that with like a domestic printer, that is less chance for things to go wrong.
Yeah, I think that'll be one less thing to worry about, hopefully.
And I'll say one thing, and this actually came up with the other Travis last night, Travis Gibb, is both of you guys always have a very affordable digital option, whereas sometimes I see like $10, $15 for a digital copy, which I don't understand, but sometimes I see that on campaigns and I'm like, why?
Versus that's something that I always I don't like to say that it makes me less, like I would always prefer the print tier, but sometimes it's just not at that point of time, it's just not sort of doable for me, or it's just
right.
So like if I see like a digital PDF that's like $10-15, sometimes there's a lot of pages to that PDF, but still at the same time, it's like
how much is the print copy then?
If it's not much cheaper than the physical copy, that's where I'm like, what? Do I have the money to put towards this project now? Versus if someone wanting to show you guys support, they got a couple bucks, $3, they can get a digital copy of it. At $5, right, was the digital catch-up of the work you guys have done together.
Yeah.
And then $10 for physical copy. So pretty cool.
Yeah, we kept the price of Dino Thrashers, even the single issues, pretty low. But that was, the same size as your traditional Marvel and DC book. But with this one being a little bit larger, a little bit more went into the handcrafting of the art. We just had to mark that up a tiny bit more, but we didn't want to go, too high. It's a single issue. It's 25 pages of story. We're going to add some more, as Noah said, but we wanted to try to find a nice sweet spot of pricing there.
Yeah. And I think for me, and I'm biased because I've been really close to this project, but I think it's really worth it for the $10. I mean, I pay. Absolutely. You don't get very many books like this where everything is done by hand and by one person. It's so special. Yeah. So, but also, and we've probably said this on this show, and we've said it on our other shows before too, that really it's not like we would like to, obviously, like we would love to make this our careers, but right now it's just more for the love of it that we're doing it. And it really to get, and for me, it's like I really want people to read this book and to get them, like I want them to be able to either have it digitally or have it physically to read, because it's worth the read. It really is. And I mean, I get so much enjoyment just from flipping through the art and reading the script. So I really want to share that with everybody because it's great.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'll get messages from somebody, and it'll almost be like apologetic that like the only thing I can do is the digital copy. And I'm like, please don't apologize to me. Like, the funding goal is really important to us, but like what's really like fun and it's exciting to us is to watch the backer count go up. Just to see how many people in whatever way they are going to get the book. So like, I feel bad when people apologize to me and they're like, I can only get the digital book. I'm like, hey man, hey guy or girl, you're getting the story to read. That makes me excited. So
you're still supporting.
Yeah.
Right. They're supporting, they're getting a cool story to check out, a new world to explore. I think there's much more enjoyment in that.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Good job, guys.
And looking, I mean, I just have to keep flipping back to that page there. It just,
I'm obsessed with the little owl wizard.
Yeah.
He's cute.
He's probably my favorite too.
So cute. Smash my face into his face.
Yeah.
No, do you want to bring up the tail on Lucius?
Oh yeah, Lucius. Yeah. While Lewis is on the stream, it's funny because apparently Travis says that he has some friends that would come up to him and thought that Lucius, the raccoon, they thought he was a dog for the longest time. And I don't see that, but maybe again, it's just because I've been close to this project. I know he's a raccoon. And he says because he's never he didn't draw the tail in very much in the comic. And usually the tail's covered up by his cape. So I think I pointed it out to him when I got to see Travis last weekend when I picked up the rest of the art, and I gave him Lewis's sculpture, and I was like, look, like Lewis sculpted the tail. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I was saying all those previous images, there's no tail.
Yeah, no, it's always covered up by the cape. And
listen, Liefeld doesn't do feet. He doesn't do tails. It's fine.
Exactly. But I think Travis, can't remember, I was having a conversation with him, but this is just him. He's very detail oriented, and he's just like, it's like he just can't forgive himself for not drawing in a tail as much as he could have.
But see, the next issue, like that tail is gonna like be a superstar.
That tail will be
do something.
It'll be like
it is lush and it is conditioned and it is ready to go.
Mm-hmm. It'll be its own character. I guarantee it. So come back for issue 2. The tail's going to feature a lot more in that one.
It actually speaks.
Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't have one, and there's a backstory to why it's not there.
Which
all a figment of your imagination.
Which did Travis bring that up on mic the other night, or did he bring that off mic? I can't remember, but he did bring it up at some point. That might be it. Yeah, he might be. Yeah, he might have some tragic backstory involving the loss of his tail.
Well, the official sculpt version maybe is before the tragic event, right?
Yeah. It's funny. Just again, Travis and his wife are very similar people, and that's sort of really great. They're two very good friends of mine. But I was, how I got the idea for the sculpture is obviously because of Tor, but I firmly settled on, like, yeah, I'm going to get this for Travis. When his wife texted me and was like, hey, I want to get him something cool for his birthday.
Aww.
You know, you have any ideas? And I was like, yes, I have this idea. I want to get him this sculpture. And she was in on it, and she helped me pay Lewis for it and everything. It was great. So I sent her the photos of the sculpture, and her first comment was, he doesn't have a shield in the comic. and not like she loves the sculpture, like, it's the coolest thing in the world, but she's so detail oriented like Travis is, that she was like, there's no shield. And I had to like show her the sketch of that Travis originally drew, just like Lucius had a shield and everything.
Supposed to have a shield. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
He hasn't found it yet. Maybe he needs to pick it up on his quest.
Or he lost it with his tail. One of those two things.
Oh my god, why does he have to lose everything?
Yeah.
Let's give this man some non-trauma.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to call him Lucius the loser, but
yeah,
he's losing things. The lost.
Lucius the lost.
Lucius the unlucky.
But I'll have to tell Travis about Lucius the loser. He'll think
no. He seemed. I mean, he was. If you read through the panels, the previous pages, he is afraid to go in the cave.
Yes, and that's a knight. That's a big thing about his character, is that he's a tower knight, is what he's called, but he's scared of everything. And it only gets worse throughout the issue.
See, they keep getting put into situations that are scarier and scarier.
That's
exposure therapy was supposed to help you.
Yeah.
Overcome those fears.
Yeah.
The
hero's journey.
Yeah. Poor little Lucius. Like he really wants to be brave. He's just not very
Poor
good
little
at
Lucius
it.
the loser.
Lucius the loser.
No. I don't want that to catch on.
Yeah. The sweet baby. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Yeah, he's got Nigel to protect him, and Nigel's a badass.
He's got main character plot armor.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. And it's
what I keep telling myself about.
So we shouldn't have tragic deaths. So that's got to protect him a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. He's okay. He's gonna be fine.
I don't believe you.
It did sound like you're trying to convince yourself there for a minute. So.
Yeah.
Was it he or is it you who's going to be fine?
I'll be fine. Yeah.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Awesome. But yeah, so everyone watching this now, watching on the rewind later, go back Mossvale. I've dropped the link in the chat a few times. I'm going to drop it one more time. It's also down below in the description area. There's a link down there to that. But with Ageless Press, do you guys have any other plans this year? Going for Dino Thrashers 3, other books?
Not scheduled at this point. There was a lot of effort recently to ship everything out on Dino Thrashers 2. It was very important to us to ship everything before launching the next one. So we're really focused on this right now. But hopefully we'll be able to announce something soon.
Awesome. Your other project, has that been officially announced? I can't remember.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
So I will have. They've been announced. I just don't have an official release date. I'll have a book from SourcePoint called Metal Eagle. Noah will also be helping me out on that one. He's going to do the letters, and he's going to do a short story 4-pager in issue 3 of that.
How exciting.
We're working on 2 right now. It's almost done. SourcePoint wants everything done before they go to previews, which I can respect. Like, I'm a early,
Get that.
early, creator. Make sure that I don't, give them 2 issues and that they can't find me ever again. So, so I'm hoping for maybe sort of like a late spring announcement, and maybe like summer or fall, the issues will start coming out.
Awesome.
And then I have another book coming out. This will probably be closer to fall from Red 5 Comics called Dying Days, and that's going to be with the team that I did a book called Multi Larceny a couple of years ago on Kickstarter. That's Bor Orkel and Ertan Sehan is doing the colors, and he's the one that colored that cover that Travis did for Dino Thrashers.
Okay.
And he did the Ertan did the art in those 2 short stories in Paranormal Hitman that I wrote. So
okay.
Yeah, he's a pretty accomplished artist as well as colorist.
Awesome. So you got lots of things going up.
Yeah, so hopefully when stuff is more formal and announced, I can come back and talk about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring the whole crew.
Nice.
So it will be part of the cruise right here already.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've done anything that Noah hasn't touched in some way. Maybe, well, actually, no. You did read Digital Forever before it came out, right?
Yeah, I proofread Digital Forever.
Yeah. So that was my first book. That was in roughly around the time when Noah and I met. So now that I remember, that's the case. Noah has had an involvement in just about everything.
I didn't do. I didn't help out with Paranormal Hitmen, though. So that's the 2 things that keep me awake at night, wondering if I had a hand in that. How much better they would have been, Matt. I'm joking. No. 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 I'm really lucky to be surrounded by the people that I am surrounded with. Starting with Matt. We've been working together for now. I thought about it, Matt, almost 5 years, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, but also lucky to have met Travis when I did, and at the time that I did, because we have Mossvale now, which is great.
Yeah.
And just to sort of tie into the last guest you had, we had Travis Gibb on the podcast, and he talked a little bit about his upcoming schedule. And he's going to have a anthology book that's Cthulhu Invades Wonderland.
Yeah.
I have a story in that, and then just recent developed, Noah's going to do a pinup in that book. So we'll both be in that as well.
Yay.
So that's
I remember him mentioning that in the interview. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, maybe we should do one."
So outside of Ageless Press, that's probably the next thing that's that we have an involvement in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think Caroline, when I told you about the Cthulhu Invades Oz, you were like, Cthulhu, okay, and then they were like, Wonderland next. You're like,
praise be to He, our sweet and powerful Lord.
Yeah, so that'll be a good anthology. And he said
I'm excited for it.
He's got some pretty interesting creators coming in on that one as well too.
Yeah, I'm part of it.
Guys.
Yeah, I'm part of it.
Yeah.
I'm part of an internal Facebook production group. So people will post their works in progress, and I've seen really impressive pages being shared there. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Ertan drew Matt's story. It's really good. Ertan Sehan's art on Matt's shorts, amazing.
Yeah, we did the Queen of Hearts. So that was our Wonderland character.
Nice. That's gonna be good. Yeah, because that's gonna be somewhat soon. I think that's coming up on the slate. Like,
if I remember,
the one after.
If I remember, he was looking for like if I remember correctly, and I might not be, because it seemed like he had a pretty full schedule. We were joking with him that it looked like he was sort of like glancing up at a dry erase board, going, "I'm doing this one, I'm doing this one." I think he was thinking like March, April for that one. So maybe a month, 2 months from now.
Yeah, he ran through them last night with me also in the stream, and it was one of the first couple. I don't know how he keeps track of all that, but I think it had to have been a whiteboard.
It's not a whiteboard, definitely.
Behind the computer. It's about the right spot there.
It started off as helpful, and now it's just ominous.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Travis has like a kill list next to it too, where it's like projects to launch on Kickstarter, people to kill. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got to balance your time, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's a very organized person. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say then he also did a creator stream last night with some Kickstarter people. Right. He hops off the stream with me and immediately starts his own stream with other Kickstarter creators.
Dude's always on the grind.
You guys should get over. I mean, he streams, I think, to Facebook, to YouTube. Try to get on his channel while you guys had him on yours. So
yeah, I meant to be on last night, but it was one of those things where I'd hit sort of a wall. You know, the first 2 days of Kickstarter fury, and writing Metal Eagle pages and all kinds of stuff, and but yeah, definitely I need to get on that soon. So
with the Kickstarter, I feel like I heard you guys asking this question. How frequently are you refreshing the page, looking at the backer counts?
Oh, it's on my second monitor right here. Every time I glance, that's me looking at the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, we'll just do it right here in front of you for you, so you can keep a look at it.
Oh, save numbers.
27 days ago, you guys are over halfway to the goal, which is awesome. Kickstarter's marked it as a project we love, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I see this being very successful, especially with the help of everybody watching, going and checking it out. Anybody listening, watching on the rewind. I started again doing previously interviews. I was cutting the audio and throwing it onto like a podcast format. So this will also be audio on like Spotify, wherever Anchor sends
all the places,
audio to. I don't exactly know other than Spotify. I just let it do its thing.
It should go everywhere if it's Anchor. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I let it take care of it. And
yeah.
Minimal work for me. It goes other places for more people to hear about the projects and hear about what's going on in the comic world.
No.
Yeah. When I post ours, I post it, and occasionally I'll go in and check to see that it's still being posted on various services, and it seems to be doing that. So I'm just like, all right, it seems like we're fine here. So
yeah, it tells me 6 places it goes to, and then I can't exactly figure out what those 6 are. When I look at the Apple podcast thing, it doesn't say if it necessarily goes there, so I don't know. I just know it's on Spotify, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's in God's hands now.
Exactly.
It's in Cthulhu's hands now.
It's in Cthulhu's hands now.
When I want to annoy my kids, I walk by, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I have one sitting right here, but I'll tell my smart speaker to play our podcast, and it'll start playing, and my daughter will be like, "No, turn it off."
I think I did that with my. Well, okay, I won't say it.
I also have one right here.
Yeah,
mine's in the other room.
Mine's like a foot away.
So I do a monthly meetup with like it started off with like local creators in the Maryland area, but since coronavirus going to Zoom, it's it's actually become pretty international. I've had folks from the UK join, and I got up to leave to just take care of something around the house, and this one of the creators was on there and said it's like well, I just muted mine. It's like the smart speaker and an Apple Watch. So I'm in the other room, getting a drink or something, and I hear my smart speaker going, "Do you want to buy an Apple Watch?" And I'm like, I run in and I have to mute it really quick because it's on my Zoom, talking to all the other people on my Zoom. So
I've definitely heard stories of kids accidentally buying things, or maybe purposely, but where they weren't authorized to do so, and the speaker bought it.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Okay. All right. Well, let's return that.
I'd like to hear a story where the kid ended up ordering something that they needed. They're like, "Oh man, I wish I had a mop," and then a mop showed up.
Now they order everything off their parents' wish list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, who got these for me? Oh, my credit card did.
these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
Make it make sense.
With Mossvale, any other tidbits, things that you want to talk about with it?
There's a sketch card tier. Travis is doing sketch cards for this as well. So that's an option too. If you don't want to buy an original page, you can get a smaller original by Travis.
Yeah. Any retailers out there?
Yeah.
Yes. Retailer tier. Yeah.
Get your shop. We got, it looks like 3 shops already in.
Yeah. Well, we have 3 now?
It says 3. 3 on the retailer tier.
Nice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And then I'm just really excited that it's 7 and up. It's, I've done so many things with Noah where it's, zombies taking over the world and evil corporations, and I don't really want to hand that to a 7-year-old, but this is the book that we can hand over to a 7-year-old.
You could totally make that for a 7-year-old.
They gotta grow up.
Yeah. This is the way of the world, kids.
The world's ending.
I'm sure there's some 7-year-old who's watched Walking Dead.
Yeah. But this is one that would be suitable for any 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think of it as The Walking Dead for 7-year-olds. Yeah. That's my short pitch for Mossvale.
Yeah,
that's we'll find a guy that's named Robert Kirkman that's not the Robert Kirkman, and we'll get a pull quote from him
Robert
that says
Bob.
We'll find Bob Kirkman to say Mossvale is Walking Dead for 7-year-olds, and we'll put that on the back of the book.
I'll change my name. Let's do this.
It's got to be Robert Bob Kirkman.
Yeah.
Well, Franklin Miller says it's like the Dark Knight with a raccoon.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I bet there are other Jeff Smiths out there. You could probably find them.
Oh,
you just
definitely.
go out
Brian
and meet
Mattel Bendis.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 Mossvale art pages left.
Oh, really?
I think we might
Expand.
we might have a team meeting to sort of play with the numbers because there's still some available in the really big tier. If that changes over time, we might open that quantity up of the pages a little bit to make the lower price ones at a higher quantity. But right now, they're getting limited right now.
And so 2 people have gone for everything: comic, art page, and figurine. So Lewis is going to have some work.
Nice.
Yeah, he's definitely in for 2, and there's still 27 days to go. So
he's gonna have some work to do. He's gonna have some work to do.
This is nice because I haven't been checking it because I've been sort of pouring myself into whenever I think about checking the Kickstarter, I just start working on the book.
We're getting it all out of your system.
Now I'm learning about it. I'm like, oh, this is all great news. This is so cool.
Matt's like, I already knew this.
Matt's
I refreshed it 5 minutes ago.
Matt's drinking because it still hasn't changed.
The dashboard, the number of people number of people still watching the project. Yeah.
Number that I've watched but not backed.
Yeah.
So, and another like sort of funny story. There was another show that was reviewing Kickstarters, and I got a message from the guy, and he's like, Spotify marked you guys for copyrighted music, and I'm like, I made that song on GarageBand. It can't be anybody else's song, so I don't know what's going on there. But
The song in this?
yeah, the song on the trailer, I made that in GarageBand. I don't know why Spotify is marking it as copyrighted material, but it's ours.
I guess I shouldn't play it then, because
no, don't do that. I made it with my iPad on GarageBand.
Whose 4 chords did you steal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, man, this sounds really good.
I went in as like harp, drum, another harp.
Turns out he was listening to the Beatles right before he made it.
Yeah.
He did have the lyrics get back in there a lot. Yeah.
I think it may have been the line where you stated, "I completely stole this from another artist."
Yeah. But to be fair, Matt's humor doesn't go down with everybody, apparently. Like, that's what he puts down in front of everything that he does. So
Well, you win some, you lose some.
yeah.
Lose most, probably.
So, outside of Mossvale, anything else you guys want to plug that we haven't talked about? I know you both have some projects coming up, but anything else out there? Podcast?
Definitely the podcast. Yeah.
So, Constructing Comics Podcast. I linked that down below. I think I have links to the social media for it. And
thank you.
Maybe I have the Spotify link down there too. I can't remember.
That's fine.
We're definitely, that for sure I know, because I have tested. We are on all the major podcasting platforms.
Nice.
Yeah. And we need to have you guys on. We got to get you guys on soon.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah.
For sure.
That'd be cool.
Star Wars.
I end up listening to you guys on Spotify usually, so.
Oh, thank you.
I think I gave you guys a 5.
Oh, you're the one listener. That's great. We know, Matt. It's awesome. Yeah.
I've been listening recently on there. I think before I'd found the SoundCloud.
So that means we lost a listener, but we gained one. That's good. Yeah.
So we know it's Jeremy, Jim Lee, and Alan Moore. Those are our three listeners. Because Noah and I always joke that Jim Lee and Alan Moore listen to our podcast.
That's why that's how we've shaped every DC comic that's come out in the last 4 years. Is
through your hand.
They listen to your commentary, and we got to change this.
You wonder why Hickman wrote X-Men. That was us. Yeah.
So it's you to blame.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with Inferno right now. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Listen, I hate having to pull the fucking X-Men series right now.
Oh, shit.
We're like, it's just the fact that the way that they're like titled, they don't all pull together. So like Devil's Reign right now.
Okay.
You just put Devil's Reign on your title. No, I gotta go in and add every single fucking book.
Yeah.
So like it bothered me because Hellfire Gala was the same way. I had to put every single individual book instead of just being like all the Hellfire Gala books.
Yeah. the retail side of things.
Yeah, that's why we need to have you on the show, Caroline, so you can explain this to us.
I can yell at Marvel about terrible ideas.
Yeah, and because of our the esteem of our listenership, they'll hear you. And
listen, maybe we can manifest Chloe Bennett as Afra.
Yeah,
maybe we can make it happen.
That's a good cast.
Marvel did have
it's
one
my exclusive casting, and I accept no one else.
Uh.
That's a lie. I will accept most people.
Marvel had a good idea that got announced today.
Oh,
I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Have you guys talked with David Pepose before?
No.
He wrote Scout's Honor. He did the OZ. He was a Kickstarter as well.
Yeah.
He is going to be writing Savage Avengers.
Nice.
Okay.
And the team is like, so it's still Conan's involved, but Cloak and Dagger are in there. Elektra as Daredevil.
Okay.
Not surprised.
Randomly Hulk Vereen or whatever, Weapon H or whatever he is. that one's the one I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't like that the Punisher was a part of it. He's not back, right?
No, he's not.
Okay. That doesn't make sense to me. He shouldn't be a part of a team ever.
I think the other person I remember seeing Black Knight.
Okay. Get that Eternals money.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's, because I don't know if you've read any of the recent Black Knight, but there's sort of a new Black Knight.
Oh.
My Marvel reading, not to go this way, but most of my Marvel reading is just Star Wars comics. Like I don't read very many superhero Marvel.
I usually I've been reading Spider-Man, but I'm probably almost done with Spider-Man.
I got Silk, I got She-Hulk, I got Afra.
I got Silk and She-Hulk now.
Yeah, Matt, you're the big Marvel reader, though.
Strange Academy. That's my.
I've heard that's really good. I dropped it after the first issue, and I really regret that now.
There is supposedly an animated Doctor Strange series in the works now at Disney Plus.
Oh, that makes sense.
So they think that's Strange Academy.
That's what I think it could be.
Probably.
I would like that. And then they don't have to pay kids to be actors.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with those hours and constrictions and things.
Oh yeah, there it is. I think that's Anti-Venom. Is the other character. So I'm like, this is a crazy crew.
Yeah.
So who's the artist on it? I guess I can look it up afterwards, but
Carlos Magno.
I don't know that.
And then Espen Grudentijern. Maybe that's the colorist.
Okay.
I butchered that name.
I'll look it up afterwards, and yeah.
I was just like, what? That's insane. Because I knew he had something potentially coming that was going to be Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Kept, like, kind of hinting things. So I was just like, that's cool. He's a great writer.
And a good person.
Yeah. He was at Baltimore too.
We met Gavin. Do you remember his name? The guy who did the going to the chapel with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do know David is. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love his stuff. Yeah. Gavin, but I also love David. David's great. Every time.
I guess I should have gone. I should have gone further back into his.
Spencer and Locke and
Spencer
going to the chapel. Those are the two that I've read, and I really love those books. Yeah, those are great.
Speaking of,
good. I'm glad he's working for Marvel. He deserves it. He's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be great. I'll definitely pick up that book.
I was like, all right, Marvel, you found a way to get me to read more.
Yeah.
There you go. You got a good writer on staff now.
Get indie writers to write your things.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so great. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
And he was wanting to write some Conan, so
okay, good.
Yeah, I think that's his way of getting to write Conan is the Savage Avengers team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some Conan is better than no Conan.
Exactly.
Which I've not kept up with at all on Marvel.
I did read the original I think 6 issues of Savage Avengers. I was like, this is fun, but I was like, I don't care particularly for Conan, or I don't remember who was still on the team at the time, but they've been flipping that team all around.
Yeah.
And that's a good team now.
I remember talking about it with Matt in 2018, right around the time that Marvel had acquired Conan again. And then seeing the announcement, Jason Aaron doing the original Conan run, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense, and what I've read of that series is really great. Like what he and is it Mahmoud Masar? I can't remember the artist, how to pronounce the artist's name. He's really great. Those two together, it's I really should go back and reread those because those are great. But then the Savage Avengers, anytime you put Punisher on a team with someone, I don't know why. That's my geek law is that doesn't work. That's not
a team player.
He's not a team player.
They weren't really a team.
Yeah.
There was a weird run of Thunderbolts. I don't know when it was, but Punisher and Elektra were on the team, and there was a romance between those two, and I'm like, Punisher's not going to be on a team, and he doesn't have time for romance as well. He's got time for vengeance.
He still loves his wife.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Punisher's messed up too, Electra. Have some self-respect.
She's pretty.
Honey, you can do better. Yeah.
She's pretty fucked up.
She is, but is anyone Punisher fucked up? Like that's.
I mean,
There was a time on the TV show, I guess maybe it was season 2 of Daredevil, where they had the scene where Frank was getting out of the hospital, and Karen Page was helping them, and they were exhausted, and they got into the elevator, and they put foreheads together, and my wife was like, "Are they going to kiss?" And I'm like, "They better not." She's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Frank doesn't have time for this. Frank is focused on, vengeance and justice. He doesn't have time to be kissing girls. He's got to get out of this hospital."
He sees red flags only.
Yeah.
And so should Karen. But it's
not in that case. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to keep you guys too long tonight, unless you guys want to just chill and talk about comics all night long. I'm always down.
It was great, guys. Thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah.
It's always nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Guys, same here. You guys are awesome.
Anytime your projects are getting announced, anything like that, you want to come back on, you're always welcome.
Thanks. We appreciate it. And hopefully sometime here in the future we can do it in person again.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to GalaxyCon in Richmond in March. I don't know if either of you will be there.
I was talking to my friend in Stanton about that convention. I don't know if he's going or not, but yeah, I've heard that convention's awesome.
It's a lot more pop culture-y, more like movies and TV focused, but I'm hoping that there's still going to be a good bit of comic stuff going on. So
nice.
That sounds like awesome con.
The Instagram people and I and some of my friends / regulars at the shop are going. So
that sounds awesome.
Should be fun.
Yeah. Heroes Con is my favorite by far. So
okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
When is that one this year?
It's usually on Father's Day weekend every year.
June-ish.
Yeah, let me see if they have that. Let's see.
I have a sort of a standing agreement with my kids that my Father's Day gift is that I'd leave town and go to a comic book convention.
Like, this is literally all I
get away from you guys.
This is my gift. I'm going to a con. I'll see you when I come back.
I support this decision. It's your day to do what you want to do.
You see them and they can celebrate you every other day of the year. You need some you time.
Yeah. It's June 24th to the 26th. That's Heroes Con.
Okay.
And
do that.
It's in Charlotte, North Carolina, so not as far.
Well, that's not that far.
Not as far for you, Jeremy, probably for Baltimore, I guess. Yeah.
Slightly shorter flight.
Slightly shorter flight. Now I'm probably gonna fly down there. I'm done driving 8 hours anywhere. So.
Ooh, that's 8 hours.
8 hours for us. Yeah.
Oh, you're in Maryland, yeah.
Yeah, we're in Maryland. Yeah. So
I'm like, it's like 3 for me.
Yeah, a lot closer for you.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's got like an auction for Heroes Initiative like on Saturday. So I go get my paddle, and every time I get ready to lift it, it's already way too late, and I can't. Scotty Young is standing in the back outbidding me. So
Scotty Young is staggering around in the back, outbidding you. He's not like a mean drunk or anything. He's a fun drunk. That's all I can say. It's great.
Awesome.
I didn't hang out with him, but just watching him bid on artwork is
you're a fun dude.
He's having fun.
Yeah, you have good vibes.
Exactly. It's so great.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So also, I linked Noah your Instagram down below.
Oh, thank you.
Heck yeah.
Matt your Instagram, and I'm pointing the wrong way. And Twitter down below. I think Ageless Press is linked below.
Oh, thank you.
So, there's a lot of links below. So go check them out. Follow them. Follow along with the project. Mossvale. Go follow the Kickstarter link. Go back Mossvale if you want really cool, unique figurine.
Just digitally.
You're going to get this guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Make it.
Nice.
And if you don't have a lot of money, what Caroline was about to say, I think.
Just do it digitally. Back them digital perks.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Me too. Always awesome.
Same here. And best of luck with the rest of the time on the campaign.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good night, everybody who is still hanging out in the chat. Good night, Lewis.
Bye,
Night,
everyone.
Lewis.
Bye, Lewis.